While we patiently wait for Kingdom Hearts 4, I thought, why not look over the various players headed into the next arc? We've gotten clues as to where the story is headed, but with the start of a new arc, we can honestly go anywhere from here. In comparison to KH3, where we knew where the story was headed, KH4 is the start of something new. A part of the Lost Masters arc, Kingdom Hearts 4 was announced at Kingdom Hearts 20th Anniversary event on April 10th, 2022. Outside of a few screenshots, we have practically heard nothing further about the game, so we have a limited amount of information to go off of. The trailer revealed has a more realistic Sora that is awoken by Strelitzia, making her return from Kingdom Hearts Kai and Quadratum. This world exists in a different reality from the one we are familiar with, and our other protagonists are trying to find him in this unreality. I will go into mostly every character of importance and what their trajectory may look like in this upcoming entry. I wanted to list some characters who had more major roles in prior games, but I either don't think they'll be featured in the next game or their roles may be very minor. This list includes Xehanort, Xemnas, Ansem, Lexaeus, Xaldin, Ericus, Leon, Aerith, Yuffie, Cid, and Merlin. So with that out of the way, let's get right into it.
I gotta dig deeper!
Over 20 years into the franchise, Sora remains the main protagonist of the series, and according to Nomura, it's gonna stay that way. As mentioned earlier, after Sora sacrificed himself to save Kairi, he ended up in another reality, in Quadratum. In the trailer, we can see Sora still wielding the Keyblade, battling a giant Heartless that looks like Darkseid. Not much going on in the trailer outside of Sora meeting Strelitzia, who also died in their reality. We also know that Yozora is from this reality and will impact Sora's visit here, but we are not sure who sent him to quote-unquote save Sora and what their dream sequence fight at the end of the Remind DLC means for the upcoming game. With the slew of different characters, I predict that more characters will be playable than ever. Obviously, the attention will still be on Sora, but I figure that he will be playable the least he has been up to this point in the series. We may have a prologue in KH4 with one of our other main characters trying to reach Sora in Quadratum, and we'll get to that. It's unclear if it's Sora's goal to get back to his own reality, or if he even knows that he is in a different reality, so his motivations are yet to be seen. However, we know that we can expect Sora to be at the core of our journey and fighting the powers of darkness once again, whether that be Luxord, Luxu, Masters of Masters, or anyone else. Just hopefully not Xehanort. And no, he is not the Master of Masters if that's what you're thinking. But Sora is the constant of the series. He will always be there for his friends.
Let's go!
After the events of Melody of Memory, Riku has ended up in Quadratum to find Sora and bring him back to his reality after using the power of waking. Riku honestly took a much needed break in KH3 as he wasn't super utilized as they had a lot of stories to wrap up. While it can be argued that Riku wrapped up his major arc in Dream Drop Distance. According to the fairy godmother, Riku is one of the 3 keys to saving Sora, so we know that he will be a major player at the beginning of Kingdom Hearts 4. I think after Sora returns from Quadratum, which I think could very well be the first third of the game, I think Riku will take a back seat again, probably involved in some kind of B-plot working in the background as usual. I would love to see further interactions between Riku and other protagonists like Terra, Roxas, and Xion. I could also see him having major interactions with Yozora, given their similarities. It has been speculated that Yozora is Riku in another reality, which I'm not fully on board with, but I'm sure that Square Enix could do something interesting with. He will probably be preventing Yozora from attacking Sora and making him realize that this will not save Sora.
I can do this.
As the second key to saving Sora from Quadratum, Kairi has an interesting future in the series. After Melody of Memory, Kairi confirmed that she will be training with Master Aqua in order to finish her training from KH3. Hopefully this means that Kairi will be in action far more, and she definitely deserves it. Most fans would love to see Kairi with a buffed up role, considering how snubbed she's been in previous titles, especially KH3. Outside of cutscenes, I'm not seeing a ton of motion for Team Kairi, as she will most likely just be training until she is needed. If she is playable, I believe it will be at the halfway point or in the last third of the game. I would love a real team up between Sora, Riku, and Kairi all fighting together. I'm not super interested in Kairi interacting with any new characters outside of Aqua, as I think Aqua will be the one to bring the best out of Kairi. I think with the clamoring from the fans, Kairi will get a more significant role in KH4 and be crucial in getting Sora back.
I'm alright.
Roxas is a puzzling case for sure. When we last saw him, he had gained independence as his own person, with his heart going into a vessel meant for the organization. Obviously, Roxas is a beloved character and fans would surely want him back and playable, but I'm not sure how much he will factor into this entry. His major arc has come full circle, so it's unclear how he could factor in here. I think the most likely outcome is a smaller plotline with Xion, as they both live their lives as their own individuals. I could definitely see them being included in cutscenes only with the sheer amount of characters that will be in play here. I think we could also see him come into play with the Subject X of it all, given his close relationship with Axel. Unfortunately, I don't think the divorce between Saix and Axel is quite healed, and the re-emerging of Subject X will bring up old wounds. Roxas and Xion to some degree will have to help mediate between the two.
Why do you fight?
That moves us right into Xion, who will surely be intertwined with Roxas in their Kingdom Hearts 4 journey. Considering that Xion has gotten less screen time than Roxas and probably the least amount of screen time between any of our main characters, I could see Nomura wanting to utilize her more as a result of that. Xion fans need to be fed, as she essentially has been in one game in the series with very minor parts in others. I think finding Sora will be mostly on Kairi and Riku. They sent out almost everyone to look for Sora, but I don't believe other protagonists will be successful in helping find him. Even though they are looking into both her and Roxas' memories for Sora, I think it will be just a jumping off point for their characters to be involved in some way. Xion can also be roped into the Subject X storyline as she is a part of the Sea Salt Trio. She has a complicated past with both Axel and Saix, so it could be interesting to see their new dynamics fully play out.
Not bad for an on-the-fly team, right?
We still haven't achieved our goal.
We thought that the Axel and Saix storyline was wrapping up in Kingdom Hearts 3, but the line about Subject X and the Keyblade Graveyard suggests that there will be more in KH4. Their relationship may be put to the test again when Subject X inevitably reappears, and we will get to what potential character she could be. I think this will lead to a mid-game breakup between the two, and they could potentially reconcile at the end of this game.
The wait goes on.
We know that Aqua will be helping Kairi finish her training, but it is unclear if this will be a plot point in the game or it will happen off screen. Knowing Kingdom Hearts, Kairi will be built up for a big battle, then just fucking die, I guess. We also know at the end of Kingdom Hearts 3, the Wayfinder trio went to search the Realm of Darkness for hints of Sora. Like I said before, it's unlikely that these other avenues to find Sora push the story ahead majorly, in my opinion. I hope they include this in the actual game, even if it's just cutscenes about Aqua traveling back to the Realm of Darkness and how spending 11 years down there affected her. It could give good characterization to the Wayfinder trio and how Terra and Ventus prop up Aqua, because I know a lot of people wanted more from the trio as a whole in BBS. Aqua has always been the most important character from the Wayfinder trio, and one of the most important in the series. She will most definitely be involved in multiple storylines in KH4 and will be playable once again.
Are you alright, Ben?
Terra definitely has the least going on headed into KH4. His arc was all but finished at the end of KH3, with him reclaiming his body from Xehanort and keeping the promise to his friends. If he follows a similar path to redemption to Riku, he may just come in clutch when everybody else needs him. Like I said when talking about Riku, I would love some scenes between the two. They had very similar arc, and Terra is the one who bequeathed the Keyblade to him back in Birth by Sleep. There could be interesting conversations between the two, and Riku can help him deal with having his body controlled by another person. With Terra's brushes with darkness, I predict that he will be able to help Aqua more than Ventus will be able to in the Realm of Darkness. But I can also see him struggling from years of being controlled. It would be interesting as well for Terra to have an internal battle with Xehanort, much like Riku with Ansem.
Go!
At the end of KH3, Ventus was also headed to the Realm of Darkness. This is definitely the less interesting part of Ventus as we move into Kingdom Hearts 4. The fact that he is from Union Cross Time is more than surely going to make a big impact in KH4. Ventus's history with the Foretellers and the new Union leaders will probably rope him into the fold more than people were initially expecting. Along with his connection with Sora, we know that Ventus is now a pure light, with his other half Vanitas being a pure darkness. Considering that in his past life, he was manipulated by the darkness to take someone else's heart, much like Terra, this will definitely come into play. There will more than likely be interactions between Ventus and Strelitzia, considering he basically killed her in Daybreak Town. Also, hopefully, interactions between him and Lauriam/Marluxia, as that is his sister, and finding out that she is alive will give him more motivation for this next saga. I don't think this plotline will be fully wrapped up in KH4, but I think we'll get further information on how the two realities work together.
Let's do this.
The guy from the Toy Box commercial is going to be a huge part of KH4, and maybe even the series as a whole moving forward. Living in Quadratum and canonically beating Sora, or at least I think he did, Yozora was last seen trying to save Sora, at least according to him. If you think saving is shooting him in the face and stealing his Keyblade. When Yozora wakes up, we see Luxord's hairline in the rearview mirror. I think it's possible that in this reality, Luxord is manipulating Yozora into thinking that Sora is something that he is not. This leads me to believe that Yozora will start off as an antagonist and join the Guardians of Light after understanding the situation better. We also know that Yozora has some form of relationship with the Nameless Star and that he would miss her if he could remember her. This is most likely someone who went to the final world after her death in Quadratum, but it would be interesting if she had a connection to Sora's reality as well.
Sleep for all eternity.
After the Kingdom Hearts 4 trailer, we know that Strelitzia is alive, albeit in another reality. We also know that she was struck down by Ventus while he was controlled by darkness, and is the sister of Marluxia. It is unclear how Strelitzia got to Quadratum, but we can assume it has similarities to Sora's journey there. It is also unclear if it was just luck that she ran into Sora and could help him out, or if there is a direct reason that they are together in the trailer. I think there is no way that we don't see Marluxia get involved here, working to get his sister back, but I'll talk further about that when we get to him. But for now, we know that Strelitzia will be a big player, at least while Sora is in Quadratum.
So this is your heart.
Marluxia or Lorium will most likely find a way back to the current timeline when he discovers that his sister is alive in Quadratum. I think we'll see a new side of Marluxia than we have before, as we know that he has a strong love for his sister and will do anything to get her back. I think the graceful assassin will be reluctant to get any help from our protagonist, but then slowly realize that he has no chance of getting her back without their help. It will also be interesting to see how he interacts with characters from Union Cross times and how it differs from the Marluxia we have seen up to this point. I think his close relationship with Larxene will come into play, so let's move right into her.
Really? Do we have to do this?
Even in death, Larxene was one of the few organization members who was still angry with Sora and the Guardians of Light. But I think her tone may change a bit with her close relationship with Strelitzia and Marluxia. Of course, both Marluxia and Larxene may join up with the Guardians of Light, but I think it will be a little more nuanced than that, with Larxene being more aggressive in her pursuit of Strelitzia. We know Larxene is our resident sadist, so I think at the very least she should be extremely reluctant to team up with anyone outside of Marluxia. She honestly wasn't a big player in Union Cross, but I think the next installment will flesh out her time there and how it affected her.
I'm sure you'll find a clue inside your dream, dear.
Fairy Godmother has most likely taken Merlin's place as the main Disney wizard in the KH series. Her ability to bring people to and from the final world will prove crucial in the upcoming saga. When we last saw her, she brought Riku and Kairi to the final world to meet the Nameless Star, letting the three of them know that they are the key to getting Sora back. She won't be a major character, much like Merlin, but she will be a catalyst for moving the story forward and getting characters where they need to be. She has come a long way from being a squatter in Merlin's house.
No, I can't give up!
As seen in screenshots after the cancellation of Missing Link, Mickey looks like he will be playable in Scala ad Caelum. Mickey will be there to find information on the connection between ancient masters and the reality that Sora ended up in. I think this is more likely to come with more consequences than some of the others looking for Sora, as Yen said informed Mickey of those ancient Keyblade wielders traveling into another reality, believing that Xehanort studied it for his own reasons. Mickey will always be important to Kingdom Hearts as the face of Disney, and it may be the first time that we get to play as him with full control.
This might be a good spot to find some ingredients.
I bet you there's a lucky emblem here.
D and G were seen in the Kingdom Hearts 4 trailer traveling to the underworld in yet another attempt to find a way to Sora before running into Hades. We know this is Hades as Donald and Goofy go from glowing blue to glowing red. We also know that Donald and Goofy will end up on the side of Sora, but how soon is the real question of Kingdom Hearts 4. For the numbered entries in the series, the three of them have not spent all that much time apart. Considering that they are in two different realities to start the game, it will be the longest amount of time spent apart in the mainline games, but shield blocking and Zeta flares will be coming down the pipeline to save Sora's ass once again.
Are you ready to go?
He will have plenty of scenes where he talks about bullshit for 10 minutes straight.
New backdrop!
My prediction for the final boss of KH4 is Xigbar / Lushu / Braig / Bragi. Known for being second in command, I think it's time for him to be in the spotlight. Now wielding the no-name Keyblade again, Xigbar let the Foretellers know that he was indeed Lushu. It'll be interesting to see how he became Xigbar, as his personality differs so much from the time he was Lushu. I suspect that he'll be working with his own goals in mind outside of what the Master of Masters has planned. It is possible that the Master of Masters undercuts Xigbar's plan, but I think he at least makes it through this game without being overshadowed once again. The curious case of the black box will also be something to keep an eye out for. I'm not sure if there is something out there alluding to what is in the box, but according to the scene between Xigbar and the Foretellers, I think he will use it to manipulate them and use them as pawns. Something he learned to do over the years from both Master of Masters and Master Xehanort. We will talk more about Ava's absent in the scene, but from what we know of her character, it would make sense for her to lead the charge in taking down Xigbar and eventually the Master.
Vanish!
The subject of many theory videos on YouTube, the Master of Masters is the biggest unknown going into the next saga, as we don't yet know his identity. Many theories believe it could be a different version of Demyx or Sora, but I'm not sold on either theory. If I did have to pick a current character to be the master, I would have to go with Demyx by default. Their personalities are similar, and we know nothing about Demyx's history before the organization, but I think he will be a completely new character that we have not yet seen. I also believe that he'll be saved from being fully featured as the main antagonist in this game. Most fans are not yet familiar with the master, and I think Square Enix is going to want to build him up a little bit more in this upcoming entry.
I may have been careless.
They will most likely be included, much like KH3, in little interstitials throughout. We've already seen them go through Kairi's memories, with them discovering that Sora is in another reality. More importantly, they used another vessel to bring Namine back, and I figure that she will have a more important role in the upcoming installment.
Please work!
Namine also gained her own body in Kingdom Hearts 3, so I expect her to be much more permanent in this entry. Her power to control Sora's memories and those connected to him can be crucial to retrieving him from Quadratum. It is yet to be seen if she has the same abilities as she did in Chain of Memory, but there isn't much reason to think one way or another. However, it could be that Namine is not going to be in the game. We all know that she has been through enough, being captured 2 days into being born and all. I think most people would understand why she would just want to live her life, now that she can.
Hey, you guys are looking lively.
Everybody's favorite benchwarmer, Demyx, should have a better role in the upcoming game. And if not, the Demyx fan club may just raid the Osaka branch of Square Enix. It is possible that some version of Demyx is the Master of Masters, but like I said, I believe that it is most likely he is a brand new character to the series. I would love to see him slightly more serious, like his fight in a Hollow Bastion in Kingdom Hearts 2. It's always great when the funny guy gets angry. It is about time we get backstory for Demyx and his somebody name, which I think has to be Medi, because what else could it be? Anyhow, it is possible that Demyx is from Quadratum and could meet up with Sora in his somebody form, or even team up with Luxord and Yozora.
I fold.
According to his death scene in Cage 3, it is more likely than not that Sora and Luxord will meet again, most likely in Quadratum. We'll see how his connection will play out with Yozora, whether it is just a nod to his somebody or something more nefarious. I think it's the latter, considering his scene with Xigbar in Remind, which shows Luxord being a little more in the loop than originally thought. He may even come into play when taking down Xigbar. Luxord has always had a more friendly demeanor towards Roxas and Sora than most other organization members, so I can see his alliances changing based on his own interests. Even though he has more options than Demyx, I've been saying that his somebody name will be Raud. And Mr. Raud, I'd be grateful to ride in your taxi any day.
Time is a cruel prison.
First, I figured that young Xehanort would suffer the same fate as his fellow members of the Nord Court, but a curious Nomura drawing depicted young Xehanort in a city similar to Shibuya, which Quadratum is based on, holding an umbrella. This led to mass speculation that we have not yet seen the end of Xehanort in the Kingdom Hearts series. We know that he was supposed to be returned to Destiny Islands after his death in Kingdom Hearts 3, but it's unclear if he made it back successfully. I personally think this is a bit of a stretch and was just something Nomura wanted to draw. I think they have used Xehanort to his fullest extent.
I need the rest of me.
Vanitas was another character who is fighting back against the light even in death. I think it is likely that he will return in Kingdom Hearts 4 with some unfinished business with Ventus and Sora. It is definitely a possibility that Vanitas gives up the darkness and joins the light, but I'm not so sure about this. Vanitas is a pure original darkness, and there isn't really a precedent for those turning to light. Vanitas is the embodiment of evil, and I can't really see him switching sides, at least at this point in the saga.
Guess who?
When you look up diminishing returns in the dictionary, a picture of Maleficent pops up. She was most relevant in KH1 and hasn't been the same since. At the end of KH3, she and Pete witnessed the interaction between Xigbar and the Foretellers, but if there are other appearances or anything to go by, nothing will probably come of this. I would love to see her and Pete's return to relevance, but with how they've been treated over the last 2 decades, I'm not all that hopeful.
Light!
As said before, I think Xigbar will be able to manipulate the Foretellers to once again fight one another and to fight Sora. I personally think Aset and Envy will initially be on Xigbar's side, Ava and Gula on the Guardians of Light's side, and Ira caught in the middle based on their appearances in Kai back cover. Most don't have strong motives as we move into the next saga. I think Ava is the most interesting moving forward. I think it's possible that she could be Subject X, but I think it's more likely another character, and we'll get to that. I think Ava's relationship with the next generation of Keyblade wielders will be important, and that's why I believe that she will assist the Guardians of Light. The Foretellers as a whole will be curious about how they are involved in the next saga. I think that they will be helping and pushing the story forward, but not taking the spotlight from any of the main characters we have talked about so far.
Let's see.
Brain was cut from Missing Link in its cancellation, which would have fleshed out his character and more than likely connected him to the upcoming saga. We know that after the events of Union Cross, he ended up in Scala at an undisclosed time. Also, the fact that Xigbar/Lushu took on Brain's identity could come into play somehow. It's very unclear, for me at least, how Brain could fit into the current landscape other than his connections to the players of Union Cross.
Got it!
My prediction for Subject X, we don't know exactly what happened to Skuld after Daybreak Town crumbled around her and Ephemer. According to Yen Sid, we know that Xehanort wanted to study ancient Keyblade wielders and their ability to travel between worlds. It would make a lot of sense that he captured a Union leader and experimented on her to figure out how he could use that kind of power for himself. A young Leon Isaac could meet Skuld and form a connection with her until it basically ruins their friendship. I think Skuld is the most likely outcome for Subject X, considering all that we know up to this point. It will also be interesting for her to interact with fellow Union leaders like Marluxia and Ven.
Nice!
Ephemer had a small but important role in the ending of Kingdom Hearts 3, allowing Sora to use the Keyblades of long ago Keyblade wielders to defeat the Wave of Darkness. We also know that Ephemer founded Scala, meaning he ended up there after getting on the lifeboat. He is canonically dead, but that doesn't really mean anything in this series. I doubt they actually use him as a full character in KH4, and considering his connection to Xehanort, I don't really see a place for him in the upcoming saga. I think he will be occasionally referenced, as we know that he got to live his life outside of the current timeline.
Cheese!
The information we know about Nameless Star is that she is from the Quadratum reality and has a strong connection to Yozora. She is the third of 3 keys to saving Sora along with Riku and Kairi. She is unable to reclaim her body in her own reality because her heart would be stolen. We can safely assume that the Nameless Star will receive a name and have a significant role in this upcoming saga. Like everyone else, I will go back into the shadows to patiently wait for Kingdom Hearts 4 when Square Enix decides to throw some scraps our way. I watched and read far more information about Union Cross than I previously thought was possible. Anyway, thank you guys for watching the video. If you did enjoy it, please feel free to like and subscribe. It would be greatly appreciated. And with that said, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.